Let's go through this. How am I a fascist?
Dude, like
Can you name one thing I believe that's fascist?
you believe that you on shit.
He's about to hit the Asian accent.
Let him think.
But
I'm such a bad fascist. I let the people who disagree in open mic to talk to me for 2 hours uninterrupted.
Okay,
I'm an awful fascist. I'm more like a free speech liberal of the 1970s, not a fascist.
But I just want to say Turning Point USA is a evil company that was funded by thousands of fracking companies, and that
it's not thousands, but we do have some frackers that give us money.
We have thousands of fracking companies
all it
in
is
existence.
making the rich more rich.
Fascism to fracking.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay, again, I'm happy to have a debate. I can see you're getting kind of fired up.
Like fracking isn't fascist. Is this? Well, I guess it's just kind of like more of an economic debate and also an environmental debate as well. Because there are side effects of fracking, saying it can cause like earthquakes and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to have that debate, sure, but you can't call it fascist.
Well, these are the people who already argue against fracking because it isn't exactly environmentally friendly, even outside of the imposed natural disaster risk.
Yeah.
So these are opposers of fracking and offshore drilling for a multitude of reasons.
It's crazy how liberals think that these words are gonna hurt our feeling. Oh no, I'm not trying to be fascist. I'm like, nah, bro. Most of the time, we kind of know y'all using these words like, well, y'all
Buzzwords,
misusing.
Yeah,
buzzwords that y'all are misusing.
Like racist just gets thrown around loosely and kind of loses its value because they say it so liberally.
Bro, what else? Cult.
Oh man.
I mean, bro, completely lost its value on that.
Grifter.
Man. Like, bro, just misusing the words.
But why are we evil? Like, we're having a nice discussion.
Because
all of a sudden you're calling me like
because
a
it
fascist.
seems like you just want the rich get even more rich. Like
we haven't talked about the rich at all. I mean, so you
Bro,
don't even know my
point.
positions on this stuff at all. And by the way, just so we're clear, the wealthiest counties in the country all vote for Democrats. You know that, right? 8 out of 10 of the wealthiest counties in the country vote for Democrats.
Crickets.
The wealthiest people, absent Elon Musk, are all on the left. Jeff Bezos, George Soros, Mark Benioff, Mark Zuckerberg, Laurene Powell Jobs. On the left, yes.
No, on the left.
The richer you are, the more likely you are to be a Democrat and on the left.
explain it to me, please.
The numbers speak for itself. The Democrats.
Yeah, the amount of the amount of billionaires on the left outweighs the amount of billionaires on the right, and the top billionaires are on the left. Like Bezos, left. Like,
Soros,
left. Really far left. So yeah, they got some Mark Cuban.
left.
Like, yeah, y'all got all the big dogs on y'all side. So when y'all think that y'all the party for the working man, I mean,
Gates.
Gates, look who inhabits y'all side. And y'all want to tell us that y'all for the working man? I mean, bro, give us a break.
The only prominent, notable billionaire that I could think of that's on the conservative side is low-key Elon.
And Trump.
And he's been a crusader for the mission. Shout out Elon, purchasing X and, kind of standing on the forefront in the line of fire for free speech and, I guess, the conservative movement. But, yeah, I can't really think of any other prominent, notable conservative billionaires.
Maybe those are white oil tycoon brothers. Maybe those.
Well, they're more so behind the scenes than anything.
Yeah, that's
they don't
true.
really just prop themselves up in the spotlight Elon is able to.
And shout out Tricky Ty. He said, why do you support the Great Replacement Theory? The Great Replacement Theory is a bit valid in my eyes because, well, we're having low birthing rates, but we're having very high immigration come in. So let's say that we're inviting 5 to 10 million immigrants a year while having a birthing rate of about 1.5 to 3 million. So obviously there's more immigrants coming in than Americans are being birthed. And what's that going to be? A great replacement. And let's say these immigrants come in leaning a certain way. They can swing electoral votes. They can swing red states, blue states, no matter where they go. Just because it's a huge influx of these people just coming in.
And to your point, said we haven't done anything to reverse the lowered, stagnant birthing rates, but we've actually done things to expand and bolster the immigration process and programs that we have in America. So it just kind of shows where our agenda lies.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but if you just can't look up the birth rate, right? Just it's easy. Just look up the birth rate for
And it's
what,
been in
2024.
it's been in a decline for the
2023?
last decade or so, by the way, a decade plus. So again, if
Bro.
we haven't done anything to overturn that or to reverse that, it seems like our focus has mainly been on getting more folks in. Look at the TPS program. Look at other migrant programs that have brought people in from other countries.
Yeah, so because last year, bro, like I said, last year we was at 3.5 million births were registered in 2023. But you know how much immigrants came in 2023? Enough to outweigh how much kids we're having. And then we've decreased down to 1.7 in 2024 before the end. So we never know, we might end up. We're at 1.7 in 2024, and they've put in about 5 million plus.
And shout out
immigrants.
Tiki Ty because he's coming in with another $2 Canadian. He says, it's built on white nationalism, right? Well, I think you can look outside of it from the lens of white nationalism and see its validity. You can still appreciate its validity by just looking at it in its totality, like realizing the declining birth rate and kind of, like I said, realizing the expansion of certain immigration programs.
And no, I don't think it's going off white nationalism. I just think it's going off nationalism in general. Like nationalism as we are all U.S. citizens, so we got to protect our interests no matter what color you are. In this great replacement theory, like I said in my example, it can look, bro, all these immigrants coming in can swing electoral college votes. And it don't matter if you're white, black, or whatever. That's just affecting Americans, period. It takes jobs away from Americans. It builds harder competitions for Americans. Like, come on now. What does that have to do with white people? That's an American problem no matter what you are. If you are a natural born citizen or you are a green carded citizen, this hurts you. It has nothing to do with white. It just has everything to do with nationalism.
Shout out Uncle Ben coming in with $2. He said DoorDash and OnlyFans killed Hooters.
No, I'm done.
Hilarious. And shout out Dolly Valance coming in with $2. First super chat on the live, so we appreciate that honor. They had too much to say. Just wanted to show some support.
Appreciate you, man. All right.
Democrats are the party of the oligarchy. Can you name one tech CEO outside of Elon Musk that is a conservative?
I personally think
Come on.
Peter Thiel.
Yeah, that's one. That's one.
Good job.
Somebody had to tell him.
Larry Page, Google, on the left, worth $120 billion. Sergey
point.
Brin, Google, $130 billion on the left. Lorene
they're-
Jobs, Mackenzie Bezos, Jeff Bezos.
If they're on the left, what has they done that was like quote unquote
Donate?
do the left stuff?
Well, okay, so Larry Page gives money to left-wing NGOs all the time.
Like if you're on the left, I don't think you will ever be this rich.
Well, they are. You know why? Because the
But
left
because they're not.
No, here's
Because
the thing.
they're not.
The left is a scam. The left uses
How
people.
is this?
Let me tell you why. It's a good question, actually. The left uses people like you that think that, oh, we're going to fight the rich. Well, they protect their oligarchy. While you guys have to keep on working hard and never own anything, when we conservatives are the ones that actually want to restore the American middle class and bring jobs back to this country.
How would you restore?
Let me finish. The left uses people like you every day, and they use people on you by the trans thing, the abortion thing. Keep voting for us.
Shout out Tiki Ty coming in with another $2 Canadian.
Yeah, I think he left the wiki link to the Great Replacement Theory.
Y'all make sure to go copy and paste that, man, to get a little bit more informed. But again, go ahead, say you was about to say what?
Yeah, like I said though. See, I wasn't. Now look, because what was his last super chat? He's saying that's a white nationalist problem. I'm like, the Great Replacement Theory is not white nationalist.
Now keep in mind, Wikipedia
you're thinking
is open source, by the way.
You're thinking of something else that this one black female doctor came out with the white man's, I guess, fragility about their genetics. So there ain't gonna be no more white people if y'all just keep inbreeding and not inbreeding, but if y'all keep crossbreeding with black people, there's gonna be less and less white people.
That's simply one perspective.
That's the Great Replacement you're talking about.
That's one side of the lens for it to be looked at through.
The current great replacement that we're talking about in current times is the one that I stated to you. That it's not about white nationalism. It's just about nationalism, being a U.S. citizen. I understand we were talking back in the day. I'm trying to understand that black female. I know her name was Claudia something, but that black female doctor and psychologist explained that, yes, it was a genetic inferiority complex that some white men have to feel like they need to get with their race, and if they feel like every time somebody crossbreeds, their race gets smaller and smaller, and they feel like they're being replaced by this new race of white people. And that was the Great Replacement back in the day. So I think you got them two like mixed up, because what we're talking about now is not what we're talking about back then. But I do appreciate you like super chatting, and I really do. And I love the pushback.
Fascists are going to take your rights away. When who's funding the left? The richest people. George Soros. Do you know who George Soros is?
Who is funding? Dude, I have never seen
Okay.
a leftist organization come to campus spreading their propagandas.
Well, because the whole university is a leftist organization.
No, it's
spreading
not. It's
propaganda.
liberal. There is a clear-cut difference between a leftist and a liberal. Please make
You're
that
coming
right.
after this in a good way, because I'll just say Democrat politics, okay?
Okay.
Almost every major, powerful, wealthy person in the country, over $100 billion in net worth, with the exception of one person, Elon Musk, is on the cultural left and gives money to the left. Mark Zuckerberg gave $400 million in the 2020 election to help get...
And shout out Sean, man. Appreciate you for pulling up, bro. And he said Canada is literally in the same situation there. It's almost as bad as it is here, but we have more influence on the world if Kamala is elected. Yeah, but we have more influence on the world. Yeah, we do. But really, y'all do? Wait, hold on. But we have more influence on the world if Kamala is elected. I can see that because Canada, y'all left. I know y'all left. So I completely agree with that. And Canada definitely probably would have a little bit more sway, because there's just some things that we just don't align with Canada, like the whole universal health care. And I really wonder, and people say it's not working out too well for y'all. I'd honestly like to know, but every time I ask a Canadian about it, they're like, bro, that shit is ass.
Joe Biden reelected through the Center for Technology and
For
Civic
lack of
Life.
better words, of
Mackenzie
course.
Bezos.
That helps his case. Obviously, he
Hold
would
on.
donate money to his.
Oh, okay, but hold on.
A nation built on immigration, which is absolutely, bro, I get it. Look here. You know what? I think it's best my man Bill Clinton say it, because y'all not really getting what I'm putting down. That's completely understandable. I get it. But maybe if Bill say it, maybe if Bill Clinton say it, let me see if I still got that. Because if Bill say it, y'all might get it just a little bit better. All right, so listen to Bill and what he says.
Disturbed by the not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. We will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more.
Yes. So we may be a nation built on immigrants, but we are a nation of laws. We have laws that you need to abide to get into this country. And these laws have been skirted, twisted, and skewed, well, pretty much through the Kamala or through the Biden-Harris administration with their whole immigration policies. You know, TPS, pretty much allowing asylum to immigrants, you know, for 18 months while they try to become an actual citizen. Then they got the FEMA SSP, which pretty much allows disaster funds to go to, you know, humanitarian funding for immigrants. I'm telling you.
But 1 second. Mackenzie Bezos with $45 billion, major Biden backer. Laurene Powell Jobs worth $20 billion. Steve Jobs' widow, one of the most radical left-wingers in the Emerson Collective. Mark Benioff from Salesforce worth $12 billion. One of the most radical left-wing guys that you'll see out there. The eBay guy. But it is not the party of democracy.
He said, and here is Tiki Ta. He says, come on, LA. Don't sound childish and ignorant. Oh, I guess LA, you sounding childish and ignorant, LA. I'm not sure who's LA, but shoot. It is what it is. Who's LA? I don't see no LA, but LA, he calling you out.
Out there, the eBay guy, Omador, one radical left wing. It's so important for you on the left. You guys are being scammed and gamed because they talk a good game about building the middle class, but it is not the party of democracy. It's the party of oligarchy. And you can go fact check me tonight.
Okay.
And you might actually have cognitive dissonance. Type in this: wealthiest counties in the country. They almost all vote for Joe Biden. Who gives the most political donations to the left? All the wealthy people.
Yep.
Go look up the top billionaires on the Forbes list, the top 100. Only about 10 of them give the Republican, the other 80 give the Democrat, the other 10 don't give it all. It is mind-blowing when you realize the shift in power the last 10 years. Republicans used to be the party of the rich. You know what changed? We nominated a class traitor as our nominee, Donald Trump. As soon as Donald Trump became our nominee, all the billionaires said, we don't want him anymore. He talks about things we don't like. He wants to end the wars, close the border, bring jobs back to this country. We want to keep on supporting a political party that doesn't want any of that stuff. Explain to me how Joe Biden represents...
Dog, here's the thing. Nobody cares about how we pronounce, like, look, Kamala, it don't matter. We could talk about her and still have that debate. It's actually pretty childish of you to think that you're making a point by, oh, you're mispronouncing her name. I'm still addressing her. You still know who I'm talking about. That's childish to be nitpicking like that. Like what? Like, dog, you're being honestly pressed about this name. Nobody cares. As long as we're talking about the subject of Kamala, nobody cares, okay? You know what I'm talking about. So, like, don't be childish and ignorant, because you know what I'm talking about, and you're playing ignorant. Then, if I mispronounce her name, and what you're pretty much gonna pretend like you don't know who I'm talking about. Isn't that being childish and ignorant? Like, come on, dog, come on, bro. Let's have some accountability here. It's like, it's not about pronouncing her name. It's just that you don't like the points that people make on her. And like, now you want to correct them on their name. Like, why don't you correct them on her policy or something? Like, that'd be a better argument than talking about her name. Because then if you want to nitpick a name, it kind of shows that you have a weak argument. And I appreciate your support, but that's just, how you look right now.
The working class in this country. He doesn't.
He very much supports the unions.
Hold on a second. The union or the union bosses? Big difference. The union bosses support and the rank and file love Trump. The UAW loved Trump more than Biden. The carpenters union loved Trump more than Biden. The police union. The point is this, is that the Democrat Party, they are sitting on a house of cards of young activists that truly want to go like crush the rich. And there is some truth to that. Like, there's a very rich oligarchy in this country that remains rich and stays rich off of gaming government systems and public policy. And you guys give them a free pass because you think that we're fascists, when in reality, we're the ones that are actually fighting to destroy the oligarchy the most.
All right, last question. Last point. Let's say, so you do want to fight for the American middle class, and
yes.
Okay, how does freer the market like helps with the middle class?
I want precision in free markets, but
how does free market support the middle class?
Again, I'm not puritanical, but I think that generally more choices are a good thing. I think that generally supporting entrepreneurs is positive, but I think that mass immigration is really bad for American workers.
There's no mass immigration.
Well, first of all, how many people are... Wow.
There's no mass immigration?
Well, you're right. There is mass invasion, but how many people are coming across the southern border every day?
Well,
I don't know, but like...
There's no mass immigration?
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
On what time?
So I guess the borders and customs is like, oh man, I guess them border charts is lying to us. I guess the border agents are lying to us then. I guess they're just lying about, their job and what's going on. This kid in college, he knows what's going on at the border. Oh, so safe on college campus.
Frame.
Every day.
Every day? 500?
Yeah. It's at its low point, it's at 10,000 right now. It was 15,000 last month. So what is that annualized? Let's play that out.
A lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's mass immigration, right? How many green cards do we give out every year?
Probably a lot.
Yeah, a lot. About 1.2 million.
Well,
right?
what's wrong with giving out green cards?
I'm not saying anything wrong. No, you said there's no.
Oh God, y'all better chill on Tiki Tie, man. Hey, I appreciate you though. I do appreciate you coming forward and having that debate with me, or having putting out your arguments. I do appreciate that. So I do respect you for standing on 10 about that. And hey, man, he said that national health care got him good, though. He said, hey, y'all got to worry about health care. I don't. So he got us there, guys. He got us there.
There's no mass migration. So I'm just trying to tell you, we do have mass migration, right? We have 3 million on the southern border, and then we have 1 million green cards, right? That's 4 million a year, right? Which is basically bigger than most U.S. states. Now, everything comes with a cost. When you have mass migration, you're going to get lower wages. But that means you're going to disenfranchise American workers. What are you studying computer science?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so you're an American born, I'm guessing, American raised. I don't want to assume.
I wasn't, but
okay.
I moved to the U.S.
Okay, well, you're an American now, I guess. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
Are you
I
on a
am.
student visa? Okay, you're going to now have to compete. You're kind of proving my point, but that's a separate issue.
Oh, Loki! I thought I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, yeah, you're kind of proving the point that we're giving it to these immigrants, and you're making it hard for the American engineers. So, hey, go back on that point. He cooked.
You're an American born, I'm guessing, American raised. I don't want to assume.
I wasn't, but
okay.
I moved to the U.S.
Okay, well, you're an American now, I guess. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
Are you
I
on
am.
a student visa? Okay, you're going to now have to compete. You're kind of proving my point, but that's a separate issue. You're now going to have to compete against foreign labor for your computer science jobs. I think we have a moral obligation to American-born workers to give them preference and priority and restrict the labor supply so that our computer science majors can have higher wages, not to have suppressed wages so some tech CEO can bring in a bunch of Indians and suppress their, no, nothing against Indians, but just, bring down their wages.
True.
Personally, I just think that, like,
he being
if you
real.
came to America and then receive a green card, I think you get to work however you want. Like,
Okay, I think that American-born citizens
and then
should
there
be
shouldn't
given...
be a priority because they're American citizens.
Well,
as long as you're
that's where we're
American
different. I
citizen.
actually think you must have a priority to your own citizens, or else you don't have a government.
Yeah.
You have something else.
Like, how is the government for the people if it doesn't prioritize its citizens over the, immigrants? Like, yeah, how do we have pretty much a government for the people, by the people? How are we a constitutional republic if our government is not for the people? But it don't even make sense. Like, what are we doing then?
You don't have a priority to your own people. I don't know what you have. You have a colony, not a country. You're just a big economy. Mm-hmm. And that's fine if that's your position. By the way, your position is held by the ruling elite, where I think that we should have a country, not just a colony, where the American-born citizens should be given preference over foreigners. Nothing against foreigners. I think they're nice people, but the Americans should be given first preference. And by the way, any sane country believes that. We're like the only country in the world that says, and certain European countries, come on in and take whatever you want. So let me ask you a question. So in the CRT literature, what do they think of white people or whiteness?
Who would you like me to quote?
Kimberly Crenshaw.
I haven't read Kimberly Crenshaw.
She says that whiteness is a cancer or a toxin.
All right, I appreciate your hustle. BT, reality goes past now. Now, if you could kind of get that BT, I do not know what that means, my friend. You're probably younger than me, most likely. I ain't even gonna lie, but hey, man, I appreciate you for pulling up, man. Shout out Tiki Ty. And then shout out Cool Bean, man. There has to be a way for us to optimize immigration advantages without ostracizing ourselves from our neighborhoods, though. Yeah, well, if it's done right, then yes, it works out. If it's not done right, then no, it don't work out at all. And like the problem is that Biden here has got it so bad to where we do need to pull off a mass deportation. Things are going to look a bit grimy for a second now. Bro, there might be more people in back of trucks and cages and all that. Y'all are really about to be upset, but this is what Biden and Kamala Harris forced us to do at the end of the day. So if y'all want to be mad at anybody about this whole mass deportation, pulling kids away from families, you should be mad at Kamala and Biden for thinking that we were just going to let this happen and go down. Like, that's who y'all really need to be mad at. But the way to optimize immigrant advantages is to make sure that they go through the green card system. No other way. If we just keep letting them have these cheat codes like an open border, then there's no way to optimize immigration. And immigration doesn't really work, to be honest with you, because we're taking like talented people away from their country, and they could be like I said, the George Washington of their country. They could be the one that gets themselves their own damn constitution and own democracy and all that good stuff. But we're just taking the talents and they become CEOs and leaders here, but they could have been a revolutionist in their country, and now we don't even have to help their country no more. So immigration, it don't help that country and it don't help us. The problem is we just need to stop immigration, start helping people out their country, and start helping them build some infrastructure on their own. Because this immigration stuff, it helps nobody. We're never going to be able to tackle the problem of immigration unless we start helping people in their nation.
And on our society.
The concept of whiteness, the racial concept of whiteness.
Okay, so what is whiteness?
What is whiteness?
Yeah, define it.
As Kimberly Crenshaw would probably say, the sort of construction of privilege that comes.
Oh, he said 50 characters only. Please play full Trump clips. Full Trump clips. Shoot, you got any? Because full Trump clips would be like, you'd have to listen to his entire speech, to be honest. You want to listen to clips or you want to listen to bro in full context? Like, I'm not sure. And then what clips are you looking for? Like what are you looking for him to say here? Tell me what he said, and we can go ahead and look for that.
Comes with being white in this country.
And I got
Right. So what privilege do you and I as white people have that black people don't have?
Yeah, great question.
Because y'all say Trump said a lot of things that honestly turned out not to be true or out of context. So I just want to know.
On applications that are blindly judged, white-sounding names are often given the job more, they're paid more.
Not true. In fact, it's the opposite. There's black privilege right now. It's called affirmative action.
Facts.
Underqualified blacks are taking Asians and white people's places in universities across the country. True or false?
True.
Okay, so yeah, there's black privilege, not white privilege
I
in this
actually
country.
don't think affirmative action is how we address education inequality.
Okay, well, that affirmative action is still largely supported by the CRT regime. But let's get back to CRT, to the essence of it.
Sure.
CRT believes in one manifestation of its ideology is black-only dormitory.
He said, this change ain't a thing to me. Be real. Hey, man. Hey, I guess he's talking to y'all. He's saying, man, I could do this all day, man. It's all good over here. And I love to hear it, bro. I love to hear it. Man, shout out my man. But, shoot, but let me know, though, I don't know, what's your grievance with Trump? What did he say? You could say, was it the Charlottesville? Was it the bloodbath? I mean, come on. Where do you want to start at here? I just want to know.
Dormitories. So white people are not allowed. Do you believe in black-only dormitories?
No, and I don't have to agree with every
you're
aspect
being
of an
fair.
ideology
Fine.
to argue for it.
So,
All right.
so then what part of
And I'll be right back, chat. Be right back.
CRT do you like? Because they call whiteness a toxin, black-only dormitories, and if you want to talk about like ideological or intellectual sloppiness, the 1619 Project was...
I think it's very sloppy.
Okay, we agree. Nicole Hannah
I think
Jones.
it's overstated, and
Okay.
I think some
You're
of parts
being
are
fair.
inaccurate.
Okay, good.
The parts of CRT that I think are most relevant and, very factually, you can, what am I trying to say? There's a lot of evidence for them, is the fact that previous inequalities, such as the institution of slavery, such as our treatment of Native Americans, do in fact affect those populations today. And you were saying before, in inner cities, there's a lot more crime, and a lot of that is because of redlining and other practices that come directly from the mistreatment of minorities previously in this country.
So I want to make sure I understand. So black people make up 13% of the American population.
Oh, 1350, my favorite.
Yes, exactly. Why do they commit 55% of all the murders?
Super great question. It's basically a very complex intersection of race and economic status. It's pretty well known that minority people tend to be in a lower economic status because of discrimination
So
that they
then
face.
why don't poor Asians commit a lot of murders?
Also a great question. Asian people weren't originally brought to America on purpose like black people, and they weren't.
And shout out Richard Reeves. Revs. All right, man. Shout out Richard, man. Appreciate you, big dog. And he said migrants help Democrats win elections by cheating. Yep, by the whole electoral vote thing. They can swing states just by flooding it and all voting for just one person. It's like, that's the problem. That is the problem with all these migrants right now. Yes, right now.
Weren't already present here like natives.
Wait, so
I'm not finished, please.
so blacks murder because they were brought here 250 years
No,
ago?
I would like to finish.
Okay, just answer. It's very simple. Black.
I am answering.
No, I know, but you're not really. You're
I
not-
am.
okay,
Asian Americans predominantly immigrate here for work reasons. They come from already wealthy countries. They're already wealthy when they get here. Crime is committed primarily
First
by
of all,
poorer
that's not
people.
true. Talk to anybody from Who's Vietnamese? Anybody? Did your family come here wealthy? No. Yes
Not
and
wealthy,
no. Okay.
but not.
Hey, he said not supporting grift anymore, but good luck from CA and my friend. It is not a grift. He's been doing it since day one. And that's a fact. Like I said, bro, y'all misused the word grift. It's like if I've been talking about politics since day one of my YouTube channel and world politics as well, like, I don't know, dog. You can't call it a grift. You can just only call it a grind that worked out. I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you.
I'm not saying they come here. Okay.
The average Vietnamese does not come here wealthy.
Appreciate you,
perhaps misspoke. Not wealthy, but a lot of the, you complain about it all the time. A lot of the immigration from countries that border us, right? It's sort of desperate people who are of a lower economic status, right? And they're coming here for a better life.
So two things. Number one, there's been more blacks that have legally immigrated to this country in the last 30 years than were ever brought as slaves. That's number one. Number two, you still haven't answered the question.
I'm trying to. It's a complicated answer.
Black people are only 13% of the population, yet they commit 55% of the murders. Why?
Because black people tend to be in lower economic statuses because of
okay, no, this
CRT,
is fine. This is great.
Basically,
so you think that poverty equals crime?
I think that it's highly correlated, and there's a lot of studies on that.
This is where we disagree. What an insult to the working poor of this country.
So why do you think black people commit more crime,
first
Charlie
of all,
Kirk?
so let me ask you a question as my answer.
Go on.
What percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
20%.
Yep.
So
80% of blacks
That's
do not have a
facts.
stable father around. That is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal.
And why
It's
do
not a
you think
racism
that's a
problem.
problem?
It's not a white supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't.
Hey, yo, Chad. Like, okay, maybe I don't know, because this grift word is kind of new to me. Like I said, I'm an older generation here. So what is a grift? I'm so confused. Like, when I just say grift, and I'm thinking, like, what? What is it? Like, I changed my mind about something, or like, what's a grift? Like, what? I'm just doing like what? Like, what's popular or something? Like, is that a grift? Like, please explain it. Please. And shout out Richard, man. I appreciate this. I appreciate the support, big dog. I live in California. Oh my God, liberals are the most racist to us people of color. They literally think we only kill because we're poor. I'm weak. Man, bro, look. We don't do it because we don't just do it because we're poor, but we do commit a lot of crime because we are in a high poverty environment. And I always say high poverty environment does equal to high crime most of the time. I would say 90% of the time. So they kind of do have that. They have that point. So, and I always do say, if we like trust, and if you really think about it, hey man, people say rich people are criminals, but poor people commit the most crimes. If you think about it at the end of the day. So it usually does mean that the poorer you are, the more likely you are to commit crimes or go down a path of, criminality.
Stay around with the women
And
that
why,
they have impregnated.
Shout out Richard,
Charlie
man.
Kirk,
Appreciate
do you
it.
think that happens more in the black community compared to others?
It's threefold. Number one, we subsidize single motherhood. Number two,
Richard,
it's culture.
reveal
It's
us.
accepted in the black community, and it
so
shouldn't
it's
be.
culture. Okay.
Don't take my
I
word
see.
for it. Read Thomas Sowell's own book on how black culture allows single motherhood to continue into a nanny state type practice. 75% of black youth
Grift
are
is a
raised without a
con.
father in the home.
A grift is a con. Really? Huh. Okay. I don't know. That you're desperate. Grift is older than you. Boy, yeah, man, look, I know what the word original grift. Okay, it's a grift is a con. I'm weak. A con. Huh. Like, what am I conning y'all out of? I'm so confused. Like, please tell me.
75%. Is that a bigger problem or not a bigger problem than whiteness, white privilege?
Every bit of YouTube is y'all decision. Like, y'all choose to y'all choose to engage. Everything is on you. So I ain't conning you into anything. You're conning yourself.
Or white supremacy. How
They
can
should
you
all
blame?
be addressed, and they're all related.
Okay, how is a white person to blame for the fact that 75% of blacks?
Oh, individual white people aren't at all to blame.
Okay, we agree.
Yeah.
So, but wouldn't it be more like smart to be like, hey, that this is not about systemic racism. Like, stop impregnating your women and abandoning them.
Well, the way to incentivize not impregnating women and abandoning them is increasing access to healthcare, into housing, into everything that we know increases
we've
those
done
outcomes
that.
for people.
So we have spent $30 trillion on the social welfare system since 1965. black people are poorer, and the single motherhood went from 25% to now 75 to 80%.
LOL, sorry, no shade. You show potential to learn. Man, shoot, dog. I'm just wondering what you want me to learn, G. I'm just wondering. I'm over here confused, my man. Like, I'm trying to get what you're trying to say, dog, but you haven't really, like, I don't know, told me anything. Like, you don't even got to super chat it, dog. Just, like, put it in the chat and then just type it out and I'll read it for you. I got you. But I just kind of want to know what your argument is. That's all. That's all.
So the more money
what
we
do I
spend
need to
on
learn?
black
Please, I'm always
America,
willing to
the
learn.
less fathers we have, because black women divorced black men and married the government.
I'm weak. He came to convert people. I'm weak. Cool bean. Hey, what you talking about? Charlie Kirk. Well, yeah, that's the idea because most of these campuses are left leaning. They're left leaning. We all know it. Even when I went to college campus, everybody was like left leaning, liberal as hell. So it does make sense that why would the libs even go here? They know they got them mind control. They know they got them brainwashed. Like the professors do most of the works that the liberal media could do. Like, what you mean? If they don't watch liberal media, they'll just listen to their professors or the people around them or the people around them and all that good stuff. So most liberals don't need to pull up there. Democrat Party don't need to pull up to these universities. It do need to be the Republicans that go out there because, well, the liberals or the Democrats done painted a bad picture about conservative values. And hey, it's about time we sit there and we be like, all right, bro, I'm sitting in this hot seat and we're going to go ahead and talk about this. Since y'all just think I'm just this, we are these terrible people, come to the front of the line and let's talk about it.
And do you think that's a problem inherent to black people?
No, it's not. It's happening now in white communities and Hispanic communities. It's just the worst in black America.
And why do you think that is?
Why is it the worst in black America? There's also a cultural problem. There is, and we have to be honest about it.
It's just that black people are
No, let me ask you a question.
Like
the average music that a black person in Compton is listening to, is it about contemplating the good...
Bro, when I was young, a grifter meant you was like a traveler. You just grifted from city to city. Like, he's a grifter. He just rolled into city. It's like now y'all talking about it's a con man. Yeah, I'm old. I'm old if that's what it means now, because I didn't even catch that. I didn't catch that. Now, I read books, and last time I checked, even in books, I never seen in a book a grifter be known as a con man. That's that new terms y'all got here. I don't know about that, okay? I don't know about
beautiful, that. Or is it about being a gangbanger and trying to get as much money and sleep with as many girls as you can?
I would actually like to think I would be offended by that.
Do you think the average black kid in Compton is listening to Beethoven or some sort of gangster rap music that glorifies gangster culture?
Silly question. Rap wasn't created to glorify gangster culture. So even though there is rap, I'm sure that's doing that.
You're dodging the question because...
Okay, I'm sure they're listening to rap.
Okay.
So you think rap music makes them leave their mom?
Do you think the cultural expectation in black America is that you stay with the woman that you impregnate?
Within black communities? I can't speak on that.
Wrong, actually. You're actually wrong. Actually, you're wrong. I didn't TikTok. That's what I'm saying. And hold on. You refuse to play contrasting informative views. You see, you're new here. You don't even know what you're talking about, my man. You don't even know what you're talking about. Dog, if you were here, I played Kamala Harris recently. Actually, I played Kamala Harris and with Rachel Maddow. Like, we play Kamala all the time on the channel. So you just come in here, brand new, uninformed, talking like you are informed, and now you look like a dumbass because you're 38, not because you think you know everything. Like, I'm sorry, dog, but you can't just come in here and just say, look. Well, you just can't come in here and say, oh, you don't know when I'm 38 and all this good stuff. I'm like, dog, trust me, dog. I know enough. And okay, that's a drifter. Okay, my bad, chat. My bad. Shoot. That's the last. Hey, look. Grifter, drifter, however y'all want to call it, it's all good. But I just wanted to get an understanding of it. And whatever Ty was saying. It's like, man. But remember, people judge you, believe men can give birth. Remember, people judge you, believe men can give birth. Man, Rich, you mean people do believe men can give birth? That is true. But hold on here. Leadership. Man, hold on. But yeah, Ty, yeah. Sorry, sir, but we've kind of been doing this for a minute now. Said my age because you brought it up, LOL. I didn't bring up your age. You brought up your age. What? Bro, you're thinking you're too special. GG, chill out. I never asked your age. I said my age. I didn't care about your age.
Okay, the answer is no. It's not. It's not expected.
Okay, and do you think that
hold on, in white Anglo-Saxon Protestant communities,
okay.
It's a fact. Hold on. In upper middle class white communities.
Upper middle class. Say that part louder.
Yeah, upper middle class white Anglo-Saxon Protestant communities, if you impregnate a woman, you are looked down upon, and we do not think highly of you if you abandon the woman that you impregnate. That's a cultural difference. Has nothing to do with money. Has nothing to do with anything except norms. And the norms that have infected Black America are destroying it from within. We need more fathers, not less. We need more dads around and less drag queen story hour. We need more young Blacks to be able to look up to role models that are not leaving all the time and are not just saying, hey, I impregnated her, so be it. It's a toxin, and if we don't address that as the root cause, it's white supremacy, it's injustice, it's economics, we're dancing around the core of the issue.
I guess what I'm saying is, right, and you've perfectly actually laid out the dichotomy here. It is a fact, obviously, that Black people disproportionately commit crime in this country. No one's arguing that. But you either believe that that is due to a complex intersection of social, economic, and leftover effects from previous inequalities, or you believe that that is an inherent trait to the race.
No, I don't, because they weren't that way in the 1940s and 50s. Black America was one of the most peaceful, flourishing, fastest growing economically communities in the country. It's not genetic. You're trying to point something on me that I don't believe. Instead,
but then
Black
you do
America,
believe that it's not genetic, so you do think CRT is correct.
Hold on a second. In the 1940s and 1950s, Black America was prosperous and was on pace to be richer and wealthier than.
Yeah, because you're not explaining your point like you're an older man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I thought you were younger because you're unable to explain your point. Like I said, dog, I've been asking you to explain your point. What's your argument? You paid, and I'm respecting that. Man to man here. So, of course, I'm going to think you're younger if you're being childish and not just explaining your point, but asking me to pronounce this woman's name right. So, of course, I'm going to see you as a younger person because you're not approaching the argument like an adult. Sorry, trickle tie or tickle tie, but if you're going to debate an adult, be an adult.
In white America, more dads were staying with the women that they were with. There was monogamy.
I ain't saying I'm always right, but I know how to engage with adults, and how you engage is not how mature adults engage. So I'm just saying, what's your point? What's your argument? And we can get into that. That was all I was saying. And I don't know where you were going with things, but hey, and then you just want to call things a grift, and then you just want to start doing all these ad hominems, and now I'm just looking at you just like, okay, so you had a disagreement, I challenged it, and then you want to start calling things a grift, call me a con, and I'm just like, okay, what's your point? Where am I conning at? Where did I swindle you? I can't force your hand to press that button, my friend. You press that button on your own. I can't force you to press that money button. That was you. So I don't know where I'm conning you at. But okay, dog. Okay, if you want to say you conning yourself is me conning you, then I guess I'll let you run with that logic.
What changed?
You're supporting my argument.
No, hold on. But answer the question. What changed? Did America get more racist since the 1950s?
I would argue there were more racist.
Oh, yeah. In chat, you're right. I definitely did mistake drifter for grifter. My bad, guys.
Racist policies passed. There were more policies dedicated to lining off those communities and pushing them into poor housing and poor schools.
Wait a second. In the 1950s, Jackie Robinson had not even broken the color barrier. We had Jim Crow laws. We hadn't passed the Civil Rights Act, and we hadn't passed the Voting Rights Act. Yet blacks were better in the 1950s per capita than they are today. So we have become less racist. We've passed more anti-racist laws and given more stuff, and blacks are worse than they were 70 years ago.
Yeah.
Why?
So you're equating here institutional and social racism. Social racism was certainly worse in the 1950s, I'm sure everyone would agree, but institutional racism occurs when policies are passed against people.
Come on.
Which can increase over time, and it did.
You're not being intellectually honest. You know that. There was black-only drinking fountains in the 1950s. We don't have those anymore. Well, we're bringing it back with, black-only dormitories. But we had, for example, in the antebellum South in the 1950s, we had white-only communities, by law. We got rid of that with the Civil Rights Act. but it didn't.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we look around, the numbers speak for themselves. Black youth are less likely to have fathers. They're not doing as well as far as economically. They commit more crimes. So something changed. And our argument is what changed is three things. Number one, the imposition of the Great Society Project by...
What policies did I not take in, my friend? And you're a female, so I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, ma'am. So Tiki Tai is a female. My bad, ma'am. All right, I've heard you say derogatory narrative towards women and views based on things you didn't fully take in Kamala's policies. Now, what is Kamala's like? All right, no tax on tips. I mean, Trump, child tax credit, Trump, her tax plan. Yeah, not good. And here's the thing. If you want to know something, when they say, oh, Trump's economic plan, because I'm going to start beating you to the points now. Before you want to go in on Trump's economic plan, if you actually look up the studies, for some reason, they count the government inability to tax you on your overtime as a government expense. So them not being able to take money from you pretty much is an expense to them. So what that pretty much means is that when y'all look at that report, is basically saying that Kamala Harris plans to take more money from the American people than Donald Trump, and the government sees that as spending, when really they're not spending anything. They're just losing out on tax revenue.
By Lyndon Baines Johnson of spending $30 trillion since 1960s on Section 8 housing, on welfare, on, all sorts, where, as I said, that young black women married the government and they divorced young black men. And then we also have had, as Thomas Sowell and as Clarence Thomas would say, the soft bigotry of low expectations. And we have been afraid to get to the root of the issue or even speak about it because we don't want to be called a racist.
So what is imposing those low expectations?
Part of it is like white academic culture. I'll give you an example. I'm not saying you believe this, but Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, has come out and said having an ID to vote is racist. That is code for saying black people are too dumb to get a voter ID.
You're doing it again. You're simplifying a very nuanced, complex argument from the real people who are making it.
Is voter ID racist?
Obviously not, Charlie.
Okay. I'm sorry. Did I misspeak? Trump's child care is child care? No, child tax credit. Yes, Kamala stole Trump's, really Vance's child tax credit policy, and he said $5,000. Well, Kamala upped it to $6,000. That's what I meant. Okay.
All right.
Do you want to know where the argument comes from? I can eloquently tell you.
Eloquently tell me why voter ID is racist or whatever.
Certain policies in southern states were proposed that would, I think the quote from the person who decided the case was, with surgical precision, target the times where black people were voting and make it illegal or harder for them to get that to come at that time. And then they were targeting the type of ID that black voters had and making that specific type of ID illegal. That is racist.
Perfectly fair. How does that impact today, saying that every citizen, if you need an ID to vote, just that aside, why is it racist? Because we have to have,
obviously humans are making those.
Man, and shout out Mr. Doc Hill, man. Hey, appreciate you for pulling back up. She's full of it. Thinks black people need her voice. And yeah, bro, her and Obama's full of it right now. I mean, Obama think he got that sway since 2008, and Kamala, she ain't never had that sway, but she thinks she got that Obama vibe, and she don't. But hey, I mean, you hear her plan for black men is wild. It's wild, Mr. Doc Hill, Dr. Doc Hill.
Decisions, right? And so if there is still institutional racism and people in power that are racist, we can't trust those institutions to make those decisions without discriminating against people.
What institutional racism do we have in this country right now?
What you just named it.
What?
1350.
Okay, well, I mean,
affirmative action needs to happen because there is not that many minorities in these higher educations or higher education institutions.
Okay, so you're being clear, which is then you lower standards.
No.
Affirmative action always does. Affirmative action lowers standards by definition.
I'm saying why affirmative action was introduced. I'm not arguing for it.
Were you asking me why it was introduced, or?
No, I'm saying you agree that's why it was introduced.
Well, I agree why it was. I don't think it ever should have been, but yes.
Right, but there is institutional inequality, yes?
Well, I wouldn't even use the word inequality. I mean, I don't love looking at it that way, but of course, white people generally are richer than black people in this country.
Richer and more represented in politics and schools, yes?
Somewhat yes and no.
Why do you think that is, Charlie?
Well, hold on a second. Let's ask the question here. represented how? So, I mean...
Look at Congressman.
So, no, hold on a second. Are white people represented...
Kamala is not black. I mean, maybe y'all didn't do y'all research, but Kamala is not black. She's Indian and Irish. So, yes, Indian and white and Irish. No. Slave owners, rich background, all that good stuff. So, like I said, I don't know. I don't think y'all people honestly know enough about y'all candidate to honestly be repping her this hard. Like, god damn, like, man, y'all don't even know her history. Y'all don't even know that she grew up in Canada. Yeah, bro, do y'all know Kamala Harris went to school in Canada? Did you know that? Did you know that she went to one of the most private girls' schools in America? Did you know that? No, you probably didn't. But you believe that she grew up in the middle class, though, right? Yeah, I thought so.
Fairly in the National Basketball Association.
Who cares? What political
Hold on,
power
I
does
thought
the
we're all
national...
about fair representation.
Listen.
I think that it should, by law, half of the NBA should be white.
Great, fine.
And the
Hilarious.
product would suck.
Lobby for it.
Because
I don't
blacks
care.
are much better at basketball than we whites are.
What political power does the NBA have?
A lot, actually. The NBA reaches millions of people every day. They have slogans that people internalize. In fact, if the NBA had no political power, why would they have to wear Black Lives Matter on all their jerseys? Why would politicians try to get their endorsements all the time? The NBA is more powerful than Congress in some ways of shaping the minds.
It's your turn to be academically dishonest
Hold on a
now,
second.
but sure.
No. But if you want fair representation, just to be clear, then why would you not be against whites, by law, being half of the National Basketball Association? Right now, black people make up 88% of the NBA.
Do it, great. Who cares?
No,
I don't care. I'm saying,
okay.
Right, so here's my point.
All right,
if
fine.
we have
I have a shot, everybody.
Please listen. If we...
I could play for the Lakers.
I hope... Do it, Charlie. I'll come to your games. I'll do it.
The point is this, is that merit should triumph over all of it.
Which is awesome. Okay, so merit should triumph. We agree.
Okay.
Okay, Charlie, do you think black people are not as smart or competent as
Absolutely
white
not.
people?
No.
Perfect. So they should, in theory, then be equally represented in positions of power.
Hold on, have you ever read Discernment?
The ones who can make the grade, sure. If you can make the grade, then yeah, you could be equals. But we're not going to sit here and make standards lower for black people, because then that makes black people never advance. Honestly, they're keeping us at our ceiling. They're like limiting our potential by pretty much saying, no, this is your potential because you can't go as high as the white man or the Asian man. So here you go. We're going to lower the bar for you, black man. Here you go. Go ahead and take that. And we go ahead and take it with all disrespect intended for some reason.
Discrimination and Disparities by Thomas Sowell.
Do you only read Thomas Sowell? You've quoted him like 3 times. I haven't read that.
I read a lot more than Thomas Sowell, but I'm happy to... Thomas Sowell's the only intellectual with the courage to go after like these core issues of why black America has fallen behind and why no one actually has studied it. So let's just give a great example. When you don't have a father in the home, the amount of words that a child hears goes down by 60 to 70%. The amount of words that a child, I don't know if you're a mother or not, or plan to be. Okay. No, just it's an important point. The amount of words that an 18-month-year-old hears is highly predictive of IQ, verbal development. Okay, so that's simple. When you don't have a dad in the home, the mom is overwhelmed and there's just less interaction with the child.
That's all fine.
Okay, so we agree. I'm just saying that's not because of racism.
That's true. Obviously,
no, that's fine.
That's good.
No, she, I know what you meant. But you have a father in the home. All of a sudden, they hear thousands of more words a day, and they're like way further ahead of a single motherhood. Single mother.
I ain't gonna lie. There's 2 people who hate Simon Sowell: liberals and FBA blacks. Oh man, they hate that man.
Raising a child. That's not racism.
Okay, so dads are good. Yes, great.
Okay.
My question to
I'm saying
you
dads
is,
actually answer most of the questions that you might have about why black America is falling behind.
Okay, but
because their dads don't stay around, and that's
trying to sort of get you to reconcile your own beliefs.
And
if
sucks
that's
to
true,
hear, but
which
he
is
ain't
fine,
lying.
that's true. We can say that's true. You either believe that has social and economic causes, or you believe that, black culture is just worse.
No,
and there isn't another thing to think.
No, I was
your
very
options.
clear. Right now, black culture is being held captive by influences, songs,
Which
and
influences?
role models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't think that songs that are talking about like glorifying wet female genitalia is exactly. I don't know which one wrote that song. Which one was it?
I think it was Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. Okay, come on now.
But but by the way, the role models of the 1940s and 50s for Black America were completely different.
So it is a representation issue.
Hold on a second. No, not representation. It's who do you get your art from? It's what values are they putting forward? It's the question of every day, for example, more times than not, Black politicians will lament the condition of America. It's systemically racist. It's terrible. What does that do to a 14-year-old Black kid if you just find that you hear that everything is rigged against you? Instead, they should be saying, hey, there might be some barriers, but if you believe in yourself enough, you can achieve in this country. It creates a form of social conditioning of low expectations, and that's not my argument. You know whose argument that is? Barack Obama's.
I don't necessarily agree with everything you said either, man.
Barack Obama said, number one, we need more fathers in the home. This is when Barack Obama didn't go super woke.
Obama's a liberal. I don't care what he's got to say.
Okay, but Barack Obama, then secondly, he said that we can't keep telling our...
I missed one. Whoops, my bad, guys. Who is it? Hey, little ma'am, tickle tie. All right, so she's saying, look up the Tulsa race riots, and y'all know about MOVE? Okay, you got me there. What's MOVE? Is that an acronym for something? But Tulsa race riots, and y'all know about MOVE. Well, I do know about the race massacre. Like, I do know that the white supremacists pulled up and they did what they did, but 1921, I believe. No,